My trends topic that I chose was year-round school. What is year-round school? Well, our typical school that we are used to around here will be 10 months of school, and then we'd have 2 months off for summer. Whereas year-round schools are schools that reorganize that traditional school year without allowing for any extended breaks in instruction. So with year-round schools, they don't get that long 2 months off for summer. Students in year-round schools attend classes for anywhere from 6 to 9 weeks in a row, broken up by 2 to 4 week vacations. So year-round school pattern is usually 60-20 or 45-15. And this pattern means that students would be in school for 60 days and then have 20 days off, or they would be in school for 45 days and then have 15 days off. Why is it important to education? Year-round school helps students avoid learning gaps. It can save money. Year-round school can prevent burnout by allowing teachers and students multiple breaks throughout the year rather than just going the whole 10 months without really any break. This burnout could also help teachers because it will allow them more prep time during those breaks. It can also reduce class sizes, increase students' retention of content, and it creates a structured environment. It also improves mental health and reduces stress, and I think this goes for both teachers and students, and having that break to just relax and take a step back from school is super important. The historical perspective. Year-round schools have existed to some extent since the early 1900s, and they have grown since then. During the 2011-2012 school year, there were 3,700 public schools across the nation operating on a year-round calendar cycle. There are only 10 states that I found that are currently supporting a year-round school calendar, and the states that are supporting it are listed below. And when I was doing research, I found that there was a substantial growth in the number of year-round schools from the mid-1980s to 2000s, but I found it interesting that there was not much recent data for year-round schools, which I found surprising because I thought that year-round schools are coming into play more, but I was unable to find any recent data for that. How is year-round school controversial? School budgets may not allow for year-round school. Schools may struggle to pay teachers, and there is no solid evidence that year-round school improves student learning. So there has been no proof of research that this switch to year-round school could be helpful for students or teachers. Year-round school pros. School site accommodates 20 to 30% more students. Students retain more of their learning, and I think this is because they don't have that long break during summer and then have to come back and try to regroup and remember what they learned 2 months ago, 6 months ago. Kindergarten students can enter when they're ready instead of waiting till September. The use of year-round school can prevent the loss of learning over the summer. Using a modified school calendar creates opportunities to provide remediation and enrichment activities to students during the school year rather than waiting. And I think this is helpful for teachers to help struggling students because they have that time during breaks to find new ways to help that student, and as well as they're having that student almost year-round because they don't have that summer break where they don't see them for 2 months, and they'll be able to make that connection. The use of a balanced calendar could help to prevent staff burnout by providing more frequent breaks, consistent practice of effective study habits, and students form closer relationships with peers and teachers. The cons to year-round school are students do not get a traditional summer break, yet they still get their breaks throughout the year. It just wouldn't be a long break during summer, so they may get a break during Christmas, during spring. Children can get overwhelmed by the heavier on-campus requirement. Teachers may have less prep time between classes and breaks, and students have not proven that year-round school is effective. So, my opinion on year-round school, when I began doing my project and my research, I thought that year-round school would be a great option because students don't forget information over the summer. It's really easy to continue what they've been learning because they don't get that long break. And then that also allows students to retain more knowledge. I think it allows for more prep time for teachers during those 20-day or 15-day breaks. I also liked how it provided more breaks throughout the year, which could lead to less burnout. And I think that was one of the things that I liked best when I was researching year-round school, because having those breaks spread out through the year would be really helpful for stress, because sometimes you just need to step back from school and regroup. However, as I thought about it more, I realized that I would not like to be on a year-round school calendar because of the amount of time students spend in school. Students are in school for 13 years of their life, and that's kindergarten through 12th grade, not counting if they go to a 2-year college, which would be 15 years, or a 4-year college, which would be 17, and so on if you continue to do school. And I personally think students are already in school a majority of their life, that if they were in a year-round school, they would feel like they're in a continuous loop of school, like they never get to stop. Although they have those breaks, there's not really a long period of time where they can just step away and be a kid. Year-round school, they kind of just keep going, and I think that cycle would get very exhausting for students. There's no proof that year-round school is beneficial, and I think that was also a negative for me because we don't really see proof that students are retaining more information. So it's not really helpful in a way. And lastly, the adjusting to breaks is what really turned me away from year-round school, because it's getting closer to Christmas break and students know it, teachers know it, and those weeks as it gets closer to Christmas break, students don't want to do work. It's just very hard to control students, get the content in, and I feel like year-round school, you'd be having a Christmas break every 60 days or every 45 days. And I think that would be a hard adjustment for students and teachers, for students not to get excited that, oh, we're going to have a break. And so I think that could be really difficult to handle with year-round school. So overall, my opinion on year-round school is that there is no proof that it is helpful, so I don't think that it is useful. And then here are a couple of my sources.